Welcome back to the afternoon session of the Law&Crime Network. I'm Linda Kenny Bodden. Rather than introduce my guest, I want to go right back into the courtroom in this amazing case where Todd Mullis in Iowa is accused of murdering his wife. His son, Tristan, is on the stand right now testifying on redirect. Let's listen. Well, what a great time then to discuss this most interesting case with my guest. Right here in the studio with me is Bob Hille. Bob is from New Jersey. You all know it's my favorite state. I'm a New Jersey girl, so to speak. Bob was former president of the State Bar Association and always brings wisdom when he comes with us. And of course, we have on our remote newly married Roger Foley. Congratulations, Roger. Roger, as you know, is my lawyer from Florida. Golden Gloves. He went to, and he'll tell us what school he went to from college as we get into this. And then Ecleynne Mercy, Miss Mercy over in Georgia also. What a panel I have today. Let me start with Ecleynne, so I'm with you. Ecleynne, the defense said this morning in the opening statements, this was a murder, not an accident. Who did it?
I don't know, but whoever did it had access to a corn rake. I know that for sure. I don't know how they're going to. They promised a lot. They promised a lot. So I'm very curious to what they're going to do. The son just testified, and as you stated, he was very calm, cool, and collected. And that's kind of weird for cases like this in which your mom is the actual victim. So I'm curious to see what the defense is going to put up.
So let me go to Roger Foley, also a defense attorney. Roger, when you're a defense attorney and you said this was a murder by somebody who was jealous, you have to point to somebody. Did you hear any pointing being made so far?
Not yet, but I guess we're going to find out soon, and I'm excited to hear, as I'm sure everybody else is, because when the defense puts it all out there, as your guest just said, they made a lot of promises. I'm curious to see if they're going to make good on them.
So Bob Hille, here we had the young man who's now 14. He found his mom with the corn rake in the back of her body, shall we say, in her back. He's very, very well spoken. It sounded to me like he didn't really want to implicate his father when I was listening. What did it sound like to you?
I think that's exactly the case. I think it's clear he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be involved. He doesn't want to be responsible for anything bad that happens to his father. Right now, that's his only parent. We don't know really all about his relationship with his mother at this point, but it's clear that he's not blaming his father, at least in this testimony.
And that's really interesting. So let's listen to a little bit of the background then of Tristan, who testified by closed circuit TV, closed camera. We don't know where he was. He could have been in the next courtroom. He could have been 200 miles away. He could have been sitting here outside the Law&Crime Network for all we know. We just didn't recognize him. But let's listen to him. He very well spoken, and he talked about his mom on that day. Let's listen. Okay, so I need some help from my panel and from our chat room, okay? I want to know if Tristan, who was 13 at the time, said there was nobody else around at the time his mom was dizzy, was looking for the pet carrier and was found dead, then who was the other suspect who was jealous? And on this time, I'm going to start with Bob Hille. Bob, the wisdom that you have, who is this suspect? I'm the jury and I'm confused.
Well, what it sounds like, only two people could possibly have killed her, because otherwise nobody said that they saw anybody else leave right in
And who were those two people?
And it would be the son and it would be the father.
Are you telling me in one word, or no, yes or no, that the father is going to blame the son for the murder?
No, I don't think he will. But the jury is going to discount that the son did it, so that's going to impact the credibility that they give to the son's version of the story later on, I think, depending upon how the circumstantial evidence and the forensics play out.
So, Roger Foley, okay, let me get equal ground here in the playing field of life in a courtroom. Todd Mullis knew that his wife had an affair in 2013. He knew that his wife was having another affair at the time that, allegedly, according to the state, he murdered her in November 10th, 2018. He wasn't arrested until February the following year. He knew that. He supposedly searched killing unfaithful woman. What happened to cheating spouses in historic Aztec tribes? If he catches me, he might make me disappear, he supposedly said to somebody. So you want to tell me who the other suspect is that the defense is throwing shade on?
I don't know. You know, just the facts about it. When the son says that they're only 30 yards away when she goes to the shed, I'm thinking you know, because they're playing up she was dizzy, she just got out of surgery. If she fell onto a rake and then tried to get up and lost her balance again, at least you'd hear a shriek or a cry out for help. And we didn't hear anything from that. So I don't really know which way they're going yet.
And so, Ecleynne Mercy, when you open to a court and to a jury of people that are listening to this horrible, horrible story, in a horrible way this person died, Amy Mullis, right? Do you need credibility? And are you maybe could you possibly be throwing shade on your own child? After all, you did, according to you, let your child find your wife's body.
I've actually seen this happen before. So you actually don't want to, it's like a plan B. You don't want to point fingers, but if the jury comes up with their own conclusion, then they come up with their own conclusion. Just like he knew that his wife was having another affair, a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old could potentially know that information as well. Know that that information can hurt his family. Know that, you know, mom is doing some bad things. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, gosh. Maybe, I don't know, and everybody's upset. Well, let's take a little bit of a quick break, and let's all gather our thoughts. Let's see if we come up with another suspect. Certainly the police didn't. So, Bob Hiller, my fount of wisdom, my New Jersey guide to everything that you can see in a trial. There's a play in Broadway, and it was also a movie called Chicago. It has something called the cell block tango, and that's when the women were killing their husbands, and they trying to make it look like manslaughter. And one of them was that a woman said her husband comes in screaming at her, and you've been having an affair with the milkman. I won't use the terms they used in the song. And then, of course, he died because he ran into her knife 10 times. Now, here we have the victim being the woman. But you have a theory about this case. What is it?
Well, I mean, I think the theory in this case is theory as you go with this trial. It's, as the evidence is coming out, this defense counsel is clearly trying to fit it somehow.
I think it's trying to fit it to manslaughter, you know?
And yeah, I mean, I think this is so sloppy in how it happened. The excuses are so poor that I think that it's most likely that a jury's going to think it wasn't intentional.
Bob, I got to cut you off because right in court they're going to play the 911 call right now. Let's listen. I can see the judge has a nice attitude of thinking about it, cross-examination. So let me start where I left off. All right, there's something about this, okay? This man drives his wife, having taken out, and you heard the 911 operator say, Roger Foley, you took the knife, you took the fork out of her, you pulled it out of her, quote unquote, takes the corn rake out of her, drives her to the hospital with his son. There's something about that's going on here. What father lets the son find a body if he's guilty? Roger.
Hey, Linda. Yeah, I listened to that 911 call just now with everybody, and it just seems so genuine to me. I'm thinking, if I'm a prosecutor and I'm listening to that 911 call, is this my guy? Because he sounds emotional. He sounds invested. Again, what you just said. If you murder someone, I don't think you're going to use a rake to do it. I guess on the farm, but I've been on farms.
Roger, this is we're on the farm. We're on the farm. And Bob Hiller, you pointed out that this deputy was treating it like it was a farm accident, like they happen all the time. Is that what you got out of this?
Well, I did, and it looks like at one point the father and the son are allowed to speak without any officers there, so they don't separate the individuals right off the bat to just get separate stories and find out before they get an opportunity to speak together. And it sounded like a lot of time passed before that happened. So, one has to question then the credibility of the statements after they both get to talk before there's any criminal investigation on it.
So then, Ecleynne Mercy, let me bring you into this amazing conversation we have here. I see, and I read motive. Now, of course, we haven't had that in the courtroom yet. We just kind of know about it. But if you search your iPad, and the only two people, according to the police, are the father, and now the son says he uses dad's iPad, and you're searching for, killing somebody or getting rid of a body or anything that connects to a homicide. I go back and ask you, who are the suspects?
It's looking like the son or the dad. Like my colleague stated, that 911 tape seemed very genuine. It's either he should be looking into Golden Globe nominations, or, that was genuine. Even to the point like trying to revive her, like, come, responsive, be responsive. And taking a point which you said, with all that emotion that the father was emitting, you have the son there who was very silent. And that kind of gave me a little bit pause. Like, when you're seeing your parents, you know, one presumably probably dead and the other one trying to revive them, and you're just
you're 13
silent.
years old, Ecleynne. You're 13 years old, either a good 13 or a bad 13. You know what? We have to take a quick break. Let's stay tuned with us. Please, everyone, stay tuned with us. And we'll be back to this case in Iowa, where Amy was killed by the corn rake, according to the police, by her husband, Todd Mullis.